The Adam Smith Awards are recognised globally as the industry benchmark for best practice and innovation in corporate treasury. With this podcast series, we're going to take a deep dive into each of the winning solutions and hear from the creators who made it all happen.
Hello, I'm Meg Coates, Joint Publisher and Head of Operations at the Treasury Today Group. Sustainability is a key issue for us all, and corporate treasury can play its part too. How are companies responding to COP26, and what are organisations doing to address sustainability and ESG issues? Perhaps the company has introduced KPIs to measure ESG, or maybe its approach has had a positive impact on the company's credit rating. Here, our winner has implemented an ESG-linked supply chain finance solution, which is already making a big environmental impact. One of our highly commended winners showcases a sustainability-linked bond, tied to climate and access to medicine KPIs, whilst the other has adopted Sustainable Finance Disclosure Regulation Article 8 for its investments.
And the overall winner of our Best Sustainable Treasury Solution is Alex Ashby, Head of Treasury at Tesco's. Congratulations, Alex.
Sure. So hi, my name's Alex Ashby. I'm the Head of Treasury at Tesco plc. Winning an award, it's fantastic. I guess there's the obvious peer recognition, that's really nice and important to be chosen, by a panel of true peers. But I guess even without that, we do keep an eye on these to make sure we keep up with the treasury market. It really is. I think it's even getting faster moving nowadays than it was a few years back. So so ultimately it's been great to get the recognition, great to reflect internally as a broader finance function, particularly as our award was sustainability related. That's getting more and more focused internally. So great across the board really for us to receive it, and very honoured. Our winning project was sustainability linked supply chain finance, which is quite a mouthful, but ultimately this is a great product that allows Tesco suppliers to get cheap funding, really, and there's nothing more to it than that, other than we brought in an idea of sustainability to it to really try and encourage people to strive. So it started a few years back, setting strategy objectives for that group treasurer, really nothing as simple as that, but we established it as a core part of our sustainability linked or green financing framework at the time, which we pushed the boat out on and really tried to lead in a few areas, and really sort of wrote that up, got the sponsorship internally, got the costs, mobilised the project, delivered it, and went live. So it was a pretty traditional delivery, but quite innovative and really well received internally, hence the support it's got. So the process here, there's quite a lot of innovation required, I guess, just to kind of call out why this is different. This really was a first. I think someone did it in Europe and some other markets, but this is a UK first, a retail first, so there was quite a lot of new ground to adopt. And our supplier base where we deployed this is quite broad. There's over 2,400 suppliers for us in the UK. That's an awful lot of stakeholders to consider and manage and think through. So, ultimately we worked that through, and we had a great project team. There's around about 30 people at peak. There's a bit of IT spend involved to get the connectivity set up for it. And ultimately, we worked it through and had a really good change management process with loads of different stakeholders, not least those internally, but also externally with the bank group and some pilot suppliers. So really working that through all together created hopefully what was quite a good outcome, and definitely quite innovative in terms of how we approached it, doing things in-house rather than outsourcing. The main learnings, as always with a big project with lots of people, quite a few. Firstly, really in the outset, don't be afraid to push boundaries. It sounds silly, but it really is quite nice when you're proposing something no one's really done before. Even the CFO's receptive and championing you to do more. So, can't argue with that, and that's probably a flavour of the culture we've got, which is fantastic at Tesco. When leading, share your vision and collaborate on this, particularly on the new ground. We really did come up with a collaborative outturn, and particularly on the sustainability side of things. And the counterpart to that really is stick to the principles. We set some really clear principles about how we thought about this to make sure we set a good example actually in terms of how this was received. So to find those at the outset, stick to them, keep referring back as you're innovating, and hopefully you end up with a good product. And I guess as always, the real enabler for change, me, I'm but one person, but we've got a fantastic team behind this, the culture, morale, all of those things, and the hard work of an awful lot of people are ultimately the driver that enabled us to land this change. And ultimately win the Adam Smith Award. So massive thanks.
Next up, we have our first highly commended winner in this category.
Hi, I'm Karl Adams, ICD Senior Director based in the UK. ICD is proud to be part of PageGroup's sustainability solution, empowering the team's efforts in 3 ways. Firstly, through an efficient digitised workflow for managing cash and investments. Secondly, by giving them independent access to the money markets. And finally, by providing them with the tools to search, filter, select and monitor Article 8 funds under the SFDR European regulation. With 2 decades of experience integrating with all of the major systems, banks and data providers used by Treasury organisations, ICD helps Treasury teams like PageGroup streamline the process of managing cash and short-term investments. PageGroup's workflow between ICD and 360T's foreign exchange platform is seamless, using our single sign-on to pass from one system to the other. Data also flows between PageGroup's treasury management system, making the trading and reporting process very streamlined and efficient. On ICD Portal, PageGroup has access to more than 350 short-term investment products from across 40 providers. We work with our fund partners and other market experts to help treasury teams like PageGroup evaluate their money market fund ESG investment choices. PageGroup uses our transparency tool to search for Article 8 designated funds and makes their choices based on the criteria the funds provide, as well as on the underlying investments within each fund. And they can do this all in one place. We'd like to congratulate the team at PageGroup for looking broadly at their treasury function to consider all the ways that they can apply the elements of ESG when managing liquidity and investments.
And now we have our second highly commended winner.
Hi, my name is David Hanhart. I am the European Treasurer and Head of the Finance Companies of TEVA Pharmaceuticals, a global pharmaceutical company headquartered in Israel with annual revenues of about $16 billion. We serve about 200 million patients per day. Let me repeat that. We serve about 200 million patients every single day, and we're very proud of that. We are also the very proud, highly commended winners of the Best Sustainable Treasury Solution Award in the 2022 Adam Smith Awards. It is a great honor to represent my company in this podcast, and I'm very grateful to the Treasury Today's team for inviting me to share our story. This is, by the way, our 3rd Adam Smith Award. Last year we won the Best Foreign Exchange Solution and Best ARAP Solution Awards. Perhaps the beginning of a tradition? Okay. So let me please start with describing the transaction itself. Last November, we issued a $5 billion equivalent sustainability-linked bond, SLB, one of the largest of its kind and the first ever issued by a generic drug company. This transaction also made TEVA the first pharmaceutical company in the world to issue bonds which are tied to targets that include improving access to medicines in low and middle income countries, as well as reducing greenhouse gas emissions. You bet this is important. So, now that you heard the description, let's discuss the details. When you think about a DCM transaction, being prudent is key. The cost of a mistake can be enormous. Be that an overpriced transaction, or, God forbid, a failure in pricing it, which means that you end up without the required funds. What is perhaps unique with SLBs is that this is a relatively new instrument, and that was our main challenge. We are very used to issue that, but never issued any type of ESG thematic bond. And I guess many of you are in the very same situation. So just to make you aware, not only that you will have to educate yourself about the nitty-gritty things, you might be surprised, but actually you will probably have to also educate the investors, especially the North American ones. And let's not forget, they call the shots, so you better do it right. The way we approached it was very structured. We did a thorough market analysis. Then we also had a very specific work stream just for the ESG. It was incorporated in our master work plan. A 7-month project, so you can imagine it was a very complex project. We chose the right partners. I'll take the opportunity to mention our fantastic ESG structuring agents, HSBC and BNPP. They did an amazing job. Lastly, we were lucky to have a superb internal ESG team. They accepted the challenge, and it was also new to them, by the way, and ensured that everyone are committed, including our CEO, board of directors, and senior management. Let me please share with you my key takeaways. Hopefully, this will assist you in a way or another. 1. You can't issue an SLB unless you have a strong ESG strategy, team, and the right owner at the top. Don't do greenwashing, go for the real thing, and you will need the right partners. Keep in mind, this is a journey, and you want to make sure it is a successful one with meaningful KPIs. 2. Even if you have a proper ESG strategy, make sure to leave at least 8 weeks. You will have to manage the ESG framework, second-party opinion review and report, and all the legal paperwork. You can do some shortcuts, but you can't just assume that it will happen overnight. 3. It's a journey. You better be strategic. It's quite clear that once you issue an SLB, there is no way back. Ask yourself, are we mature enough? Is this what our investors expect? Is there a benefit? There is a long discussion around the benefit, namely how much savings, 5 basis points, 10 basis points, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Make sure you time it well, otherwise it might be a waste of time and end up very negatively.
A huge congratulations to all our Adam Smith Award winners. And thank you for listening to this episode of our dedicated Adam Smith Awards podcast series, brought to you by the Treasury Today Group. More episodes will be coming soon, featuring other award winners, so please subscribe to our channel so you can stay updated.